Hi, it's Ashley from AB Sound Advice. Today we're doing a product review on the T+A HA200 headphone amplifier with built-in DAC. Now, this is truly one amazing amplifier. Now, before we go into any of the details, let's just first start off with what you would have seen I mentioned in the actual headphone review, and I'm going to do it again because it just sort of makes you smile when you think about it this way. T+A stands for engineering emotion. And I guess the thing we need to be clear is that T+A, they are a bunch of scientists. And I guess the other thing is the T and A stands for theory and application. So their tagline is engineering emotion, but their actual T+A stands for theory and application. And when you think about that, that's about as scientific as one could be, I would have thought. And they're in the field of audio technology, so they really are the absolute pinnacle of hi-fi. I mean, these guys have been around since 1978, and they do make very high-end amplifiers, and, well, in our part of the world, I guess they would be nearly $100,000 floor standards. So they certainly do make some very high-end equipment. And I think when you think of it that way, it just makes you realize that you are, when you're looking at an amplifier like this, and you would have seen in my headphone reviews and information about headphones, I have played with lots of headphone amplifiers, and this undoubtedly is the maddest headphone amplifier to date that I've been messing with. Now, in this part of the world, it's about a $15,000 price tag in our part of the world, and that's a serious kit for a headphone amp. Now, I purposely reviewed these separately, and I will maybe put the two together, but in this circumstance, what I've done is I've used this T+A HA200 on a multitude of different headphones ranging from 3,000 right through to about probably 5 is about the highest we've gone with this. And then of course I've also tried the T+A Solitaire Ps, and they are at $10,000 just to get a sort of a reference point where it all lands. So with that aside, let's just have a look at this thing. Now obviously absolutely love the UV meters. I think they're fantastic. They also, I think, another thing that I did a bit of reading up on this because I wondered about the 3 inputs. I like how they've got the 4.4, they've got the balance XLR, and then of course you've got your normal 6.3. Each one of those buttons, when you select it, activates another element of the amplifier, and this amplifier has been designed to provide the exact right engineering or sound processing and amplification to each particular socket. So I do they certainly have thought of everything. And the thing is, I believe it's a nice weighty amplifier. You really do feel as if you're getting something substantial. Connection-wise, wow, it really does have a stack of connections. And what we'll do is we'll just actually be easier just to walk around and have a look today, I think. So at the back here, you can see straight off the bat, we've got an analog in. We also got, again, some XLRs, some more RCA. You've got digital in, which is fiber optic, of course. Then, of course, you got from your PC. We've also got, we're also looking for the HDMI, and of course, we also have some digital in. So it really is connection city. Of course, the Bluetooth antenna. Now, that's a great little finish. I mean, towards the end of playing with this, I did Bluetooth to it just to see what that was like through my iPhone 11, and absolutely loved it. I really got to say the amplifier is thoroughly enjoyable, and again, comparing it to all the headphone amplifiers that I have on hand, there definitely is. I was sort of wondering to myself, what would the difference be when now we've got an amplifier and we're trying that on all different products. Because you can imagine when you're playing with a lot of products like me, it's so hard to actually identify sometimes. You've really got to listen to hear the differences. And I think what I can say about the T+A HA200, it's just smoothed and refined. So what I find is anything that I plugged into this, in the way of headphones. It's just musically enjoyable. You can really tell the depth, and obviously the circuitry that's in this is really in synergy. It really is an amazing headphone amp, and yes, would I own one of these? I'd absolutely love to. And as I said again, it's another one of those products that you just don't want to return. And I'd have this for no other reason than it just absolutely looks fantastic. I love the options. I like the multiple connections on the front. I certainly can see this being an absolute pinnacle product for myself. I mean, it really is an incredible unit. So if you're looking for the best of the best, you won't be going past this T plus A HA200. Now, we'll also just cover off a couple of things. That comes with, obviously, a warranty card in the box, which I thought was a nice touch. We also have a signed off the technicians and people involved, the head people. Of course, you also have a safety instruction booklet, and of course, a fairly significant owner's manual or the user manual. It also comes with an RCA for the analog input. It also provides you the computer cable, which I did use in part of the testing. And would you believe it also came with a USB charger for the remote control. And I thought that was quite cool. So you don't have to worry about batteries for the remote. So in the bottom there, you'll see the little charging plug. And they provide a USB on the back for charging purposes. So very well thought through. So if you're looking for something like this, really, it just is incredible. And again, I've said this before, the specifications, I've never really been a spec man. I mean, everything I've ever done has been about music. It's what my ear could hear. And I was the sort of guy to always say, I read all that. What can I hear? What is the difference that I'm going to hear? What is it? I'm always asking the question. So all the technical people through my career, and as I said, 40 years this year, and I really, the specifications don't really mean a lot to me. But what does mean a lot to me is the finish, the sound, and what it is capable of doing, and what are the benefits to me, and what is it that, what would I get out of this? So for the ones who need to know something about the specs, and I guess you can't spend $10,000 on a headphone amplifier DAC and not have some form of information, and I guess I'll rattle off some of the things that you might even need to know. But frequency of response, we're talking, +0 / -3 dB. I mean, really, we've also got signal noise ratio 110 / 114 dB. Distortion's just really 0.0, it's just zeros to one. Don't even know a human ear could even hear that. Channel separation 108 dB. Class A operation up to 700 milliamps. I mean, the volume control in 1 dB steps. So loudness switchable. I mean, really, headphone outputs, as I mentioned before, you've got the 6.3, 4.4 in the Pentagon, which is what, the 4.4, and then the XLR 4-pin. Now, the impedances this can operate with is they can do an 8, 12, 18, 25, 40, and 80 ohms. So, I mean, it's across the range, really. There's not anything that it won't really manage. And again, the money you're spending on this sort of thing, they've put a lot of money into the amplification, and you can imagine people don't realise it's actually more difficult to make a high-end amplifier for a headphone than it would be for a floor standard, because there's just so many impedance variances you have to deal with. And I sort of initially wondered why you would do this, and when I was reading up the 3 outputs for your headphones, why you would do that. Once you start understanding what's involved in doing it, you can actually understand how this got to $10,000. And remembering on the headphone side, they were given a blank sheet, or a blank check, so to speak, to just keep going until they've perfected and made the best of the best. Well, here again, we've done the same with the amplifier. So there shouldn't be any doubt that when you're taking that approach, you can't really not make something to that level, because there's been no brakes or handbrakes put on. Sometimes products they get so close to being perfect, but then somebody pulled the brake on it. Here's a situation with the brakes off. Do as you want, spend what you need to do, and make us the best. So I guess when you say to scientists that, you are going to get something pretty special. And And as I've mentioned before, technical scientists and then the human world, sometimes that doesn't always work very, very well. Here we have a situation where the synergy between science and the human using it has actually paid off. They really have done an absolutely salubrious job here. So I would say if you are looking for a headphone amplifier and you really just want the best, you will not go past the T plus A HA200. And I would also, the things that I liked about this, not only was the finish, and here today we're looking at the silver, it does come in black, and I'll be honest with you, I am not a silver fan whatsoever, but this is just growing on me. It really is for the first time ever that I've actually grown attached to a silver finish. It really, for whatever reason, it just works, and I have to say that if you the things that I did like about this is that it really is headphone focused. So if you don't have the room, I guess there could be situations where not every household likes music, and you want to have you can have a little private area where you can set this up. You can put your Sky television or your Apple TV or your mobile devices off your computers, digital, whatever way you want to run this. You can be assured that when you sit back and play this, you are getting the best possible sound. And on top of that, if you are like me and like looking at where your music's coming from a visual perspective and the information provided on the meters and the actual layout of the unit, it really is exceptional. So, and I said, I hope today's review has been informative. I mean, you can imagine, I've been in the industry for 40 years. I really, it's hard to believe all these years later, I'm sort of, I don't mind voicing opinions if it helps people. And I guess I'm basing it more on what I've learned in my career. And I have sold a lot of high-end headphone amplifiers and very high-end headphones in my career. And of course, not to this level. I mean, as a combined effort, you're nearly at 25,000 for the headphones and this amp. And, that is right out there. That's called smashing it out into the park. I think there's only one other headphone and amp that even is, but then again, I think it's about 3 or 4 times more. It just gets out of control. I think here I like the concept, I like the separation, I like having an amp, and I like having a set of headphones separate. I really do think if you're looking for something special and you're looking for something that's got that clinical detail without being over clinical. This is the other thing, is they've found that balance. Sometimes things can be so pure it's actually unenjoyable. They have found the balance to get that music spot on, and they've created a space somehow within this amplifier. The attention to detail and the depth within the songs and the music that's played through this, it really, I mean, I have to say the chances of me probably hearing something like this again is next to zip. And it's a great feeling to be able to sit here today and talk to you guys about a headphone amplifier that's totally mad. And if other people who know me in my region, in the car side of things, I'm called Ashley Mad Bass Burrell because I'm certainly mad about bass. Now I've also been mad about sounds as well, and this is just exceptional. So I have to take my hat off to T plus A, for the HA200 headphone amp. It is absolutely fantastic, and if you're looking at doing something like this, you would not regret it. This is a lifetime purchase. This is something you buy and you just keep. There'd be no reason why you'd ever move away from this. So I hope you've enjoyed today's product review. If you'd like more information, you can always go on to T plus A's website for more information. And I'd also like to thank Angus and the guys at AbTech Audio Lounge for loaning this to me to do this. Obviously, I'm not looking forward to giving it back, but I do appreciate being able to play with this for the last couple of weeks. So again, thank you for tuning into AB Sound Advice, and I'll see you next time.